Thank you very much for joining our online reading session of the book The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Radha Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Swami Namne Namah Shripada Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Guruvacharani निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे गम करते वाचल मंगलम गायते गिरिमित कृपाधम देशे तारणम परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्येश्वर गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः वागीशाय स्योदने लक्ष्मी यस्य सुभक्षसी यस्य आस्ते हृदये संवित् तम नरसिंह मां भजेत गुरोपि अनुग्रीवाय विसवत्तां केसरी केसरी स्वभूतानां ईशान यस्य देवे पराभक्ति यथा देवे तथा गुरु तस्येति कथिता यथा प्रकाशन्ते महात्मायं तत्र विश्वनाथनां संजीवयते किल शक्ति धरस्वनाम्न्यां चास्तु चमोष प्राणां नमो भगवते पुरुषाय ओम कृष्ण ओके So we are reading from the book The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada. We are in part 17. Stable chapter 2, the managerial system. We are in stable leadership. Stable leadership. Often Srila Prabhupada faced the difficulty of leaders wanting to quit and take up a less demanding service. This lack of commitment in leaders particularly vexed him. This constantly changing the head man and whimsically dividing the attention is not good. Someone must be there who will stick tightly to the temple and develop it gradually to the highest standard. This constantly changing managers is not good. We shall develop more progressively by sticking in one place and working, not that one week we have three presidents. It is not good. Our managers should be very responsible for developing their center to the topmost standard. Why this restlessness? My idea is that the leaders must agree to stick at one place, even they may have to remain there lifelong. That is the ideal leader, one who is conscious of his duty. Yes. This attitude of changing this, changing that, if there is some small thing to make it something very great, changing the leaders three every week, these things are going on. I know. This is not at all a good attitude that if by adjustment, this and that, changing everything, I may create the perfect combination, everything will be all right. I am more impressed if someone has opened one center and that he has stayed there tightly and developed nicely, not going away whimsically. He chided. This one guy chided. Hare. Chided means scold or rebuke. Okay. He chided. You Westerners are so restless. Why can't you remain in the same place? Say where you are. expecting that a dedicated disciple will perform his or her duty even if facilities are lacking. Srila Prabhupada exhorted leaders to continue their service even in difficult circumstances and dedicated a long missive to this topic. Missive, especially a long official one. I have never been in favor of this practice of many times changing the responsible officers 3 times a week, changing presidents. This will ruin the whole thing. From now on, if someone takes the leading post, he must agree to stick and not go away just because it is difficult from time to time. That is the ideal leader. He is responsible, he knows his duty. Just like I did that. My Guru Maharaj gave me a task and I was always discouraged by my godbrothers. But I did not forget him even for a moment. And I was determined to follow my duty, even though sometimes I did not like to do it. But this always changing means no sense. If he is a leader, he must be fixed up. Otherwise, if he has no real interest, why he takes that post? He must be responsible. He must stick and develop the highest standard of Krishna consciousness practice in that area of management. But if he's sometimes thinking, oh, I do not like to do this, let me go away at first opportunity, then how will things go on? That is just like the democratic system in your government. Every 4 or 5 years, changing all leaders. In this way, each man is thinking he shall not try to do very much. No one is interested in the real welfare of the citizens simply because the post is temporary. That is not our process. This has so many meanings in this. The real meaning of duty is like just like Arjun. He did not like to be responsible. He wanted to leave the scene, but Krishna convinced him that this is your duty to fight. So he did it for Krishna. And he fought until the last man was killed from the opposite side. That is leadership. Hmm. He determined to stick to his position because he understood Krishna. Of course, we cannot prevent that someone may suddenly go away. It may happen to anyone. But as far as possible, impress upon the leaders what is their duty. The best man must be found out for taking charge there and developing it nicely. And if he sticks and works hard to build it up, that will please me very much. Note the point, the best man, not best woman. I don't know, people will get offended. Hmm. Advancement in Krishna consciousness is not the result of material conditions. I shall not expect to find some perfect circumstances of occupational duty which will cause me to be automatically Krishna conscious. No. So, why should I think that by changing this, going here and there, doing something else, why shall I expect that I will become happy by adjusting material conditions in that way? They have not understood. The real attitude of devotional service is that whether I am here or there, whether I am doing this or that doesn't matter. Just give this, give me a little prasad, little service. Or if you make me a big leader, that's all right. That is the devotee, satisfied to serve Krishna in any circumstance of life. So try to impress this fact. You should kill this restless spirit. Enthusiasm and patience, these things are required. If under conditions I lose my enthusiasm, I cannot endure the difficulties of my duty, therefore I go away, then how can I be a leader? These things must be understood. Otherwise, the whole thing will fail. Specific instructions to devotees in specific places. You are in charge of the Seattle branch. You should try to develop and manage this temple as your life interest. Don't be flickering, thinking of going here and there. Whatever charge given from Krishna through the medium of spiritual master, you should be carrying out very faithfully. I have come to your country in this old age with this interest. We shall not mind where we are kept or where we have to discharge our duties, but we should accept them and do them nicely. I wish that the Seattle temple be maintained as the most important thing, and there is no second man besides you to take charge of it. Actually, the center was opened by you and Gargamuni. Gargamuni is now engaged in different work, so do not divert your attention. Prabhupada, who has written letter 11th March 1969. So Gargamuni was one of the person who opened the Seattle Center. Okay. I'm so glad to hear that you are reopening the Baltimore temple and that you are prepared to stay there your lifetime for developing it to the highest standard. Yeah, near Atlanta there is a temple called Baltimore. Near, yes, I've been to Baltimore. Okay, okay, Paramatmananda Prabhu, you can read chapter 3, qualifications and duties of leaders.
Hare Krishna. Qualifications and duties of leaders. In accord with his spiritual method of management, Srila Prabhupada specified the core qualification for leadership in Krishna consciousness. Leader means spiritually, not materially. This you should understand very clearly. If spiritual potency and strength is there, then material intelligence will automatically follow. We must have a solid foundation of chanting and following the regulative principles. Then one is fit to lead others. We have to be spiritually strong. If superficially we want to be managers, it won't be good. All our managers should be spiritually advanced, simple, and honest in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master and Krishna. In brief, a definition of a leader in Krishna consciousness is one who has become a first class disciple, one who is perfectly following. Such a leader should set the example and also see that the others are following. Srila Prabhupada wanted leaders to organize very solidly and thus increase the number of books distributed and number of devotees made and develop centers of Krishna consciousness everywhere. Further spelling out the business of a leader, he must be himself always enthusiastic and inspire others to be always enthusiastic. Then he is a real leader. And that enthusiastic mood is maintained when everyone is always without fail chanting 16 rounds daily, rising early for Mangalarti, reading books, preaching. In this way, by strictly observing the regulative principles of devotional life, that enthusiasm or great eagerness to have Krishna will come out. So, if you are very serious to remain tightly there in Boston Center and develop it fully, I am very much pleased upon you for this. That is advancement in Krishna consciousness. To stick tightly to the desires of or orders of the spiritual master, because my Guru Maharaj ordered it and I am also ordering it. Go on preaching, spread this Krishna consciousness all over the world. So, if you are taking up responsibility for that to work very cool headedly in this way, then you rightly understand the point of giving our energy to Krishna without any personal considerations. Leading by example. Perfect following is the key to getting others to follow. Example is better than precept. Every one of you must be the perfect example, then everyone will follow. The main thing for leaders is to encourage and train the devotees in their care by themselves, setting a good example. The main thing is that you must set a nice example for the others by following very rigidly the regulative principles such as chanting 16 rounds on beats, reading the books, getting up to attend Mangalarti, etc. In this way, everyone shall be encouraged. We must be so careful to train the devotees nicely. That is the business of leader. He himself must be always enthusiastic and inspire others to be always enthusiastic. Then he is real leader, and that enthusiastic mood is maintained when everyone is always without fail chanting 16 rounds daily, rising early for Mangal Arati, reading books, preaching in this way by observing strictly the regulative principles of devotional life. That enthusiasm or great eagerness to have Krishna will come out. Leaders teach others how to be Krishna conscious by setting the example of following the basic practices. You should hold a fire sacrifice and lecture on the importance of following the rules and regulations, chanting 16 rounds, and all the devotional principles. This is your responsibility as the president of the temple. You must do it yourself and see that they also do it. This is the perfect way of teaching. Writing to a leader, Srila Prabhupada explained the importance of this. These regulative principles, such as rising before 4 a.m. for Mangalarti, chanting 16 rounds minimum on beats daily, reading books, going for the street sankirtan, preaching to anyone and everyone, offering the prasad like that, these principles of devotional service are there to safeguard us from Maya's attack by keeping us always enthusiastic. If we strictly observe these principles, we shall remain always enthusiastic. These are the sources and the maintainers of our enthusiasm to serve Krishna. As soon as someone is not following them regularly, it may be certain that his enthusiasm will gradually disappear. Therefore, my request to you is that under any and all circumstances you yourself shall without fail stick to these principles and make certain that all the devotees in your church are also following them strictly. Leaders especially are expected to be ideal inmates of the temple and setting the standard for others. If you simply instruct them as I have taught you, being yourself always the perfect example and above suspicion, that will act with great force, otherwise a fool's paradise. Note that a fool's paradise, all fools and join together. Not like that. There should be ideal life, at least the leaders, the president, the GBC. They, the leaders, will show the example and they, others will follow. Then it is beneficial. In the blind association, if at least one man has eyes, then he can lead all the blind men. But if all of them are blind, then it is a fool's paradise. You must teach them by your own personal example, otherwise, how will they learn? If you are loose in your habits, then everyone in your temple will also be loose in their habits. Just as the good example of leaders will be followed by others, so also if they set a bad example, Shila, uh, so also if they set a bad example. Srila Prabhupada was especially concerned when leaders fell into vice. He is a big leader, and if it is common knowledge that he is using such intoxicants, the others will follow his example and there will be havoc throughout the society. That would be a catastrophe. Is it possible to save him from this dangerous position? He is an important man in our society and we cannot allow him to deviate from our principles. Please try to save him. You are one of the important leaders, so if you are feeble enough to save him, then you must try to save him.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, what happened? You just escaped or what? Hari Bol,
No. Hare Krishna. Am I
you are not
audible,
able to
Prabhu?
get. No,
Okay. You are one of the
continue.
okay. You are one of the important leaders. So if you are feeble and you are still a victim of such habits, then the other members who are following your example will be led to ruination by you only. That will be the greatest disservice to Krishna.
Prabhu,
If we
disservice.
work so
Prabhu, Hare
oh
Krishna,
sorry,
that's
sorry, sorry, sorry,
disservice,
sorry.
disservice. Disservice, what you are
Yes.
reading.
No, no, Roji, half part is in the above line and next part, so I could not understand.
It
Okay.
is greatest
Okay, that
disservice to Krishna.
yes.
Oh,
That
okay,
will be
continue.
the greatest that will be the greatest disservice to Krishna. If we work so hard to make a man a devotee and then see the older members taking intoxication and doing all nonsense, they become lost to Krishna. That is the greatest sin.
Yeah, this is very great problematic going on all over the world since many years. This is what people come and then they see that old people are becoming more and more useless. Then what enthusiasm you are going to give to the juniors? And if seniors, temple presidents, devotees don't come for Mangalarti, how you can expect others to come for Mangalarti? So, so it's the greatest concern. Okay, continue. Okay,
Ideal
somebody else can
character.
read. Somebody else can read. Yeah, yeah, devotees can read. Okay, Asita Prabhu, kindly.
Okay, Prabhu. Ideal character. The importance of exemplary leadership in Krishna consciousness cannot be underestimated, as is clear from the following observation. The example and kindly guidance of our elder members in the society is the most profound force for motivating our students, both new and old, toward advanced Krishna consciousness. Thus, while Srila Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to be of ideal character, this was especially imperative for leaders. Those who are in charge of centers must be ideal Mahatmas. And thus, another definition of a leader. Leader means they should behave in such a way that by following them, others will be benefited. That is a leader. Elaborating on this, there should be ideal life. At least the leaders, the president, the GBC, they will show the example and others will follow. Then it is beneficial. By seeing our behavior, by character, they will become. Apani Achari Prabhu Jivera Sikhaye. The leader should be ideal. How the leader can be ideal? I know you have multifarious and complicated affairs to manage in our Los Angeles center, and I know that you are doing your best there. And I know you are doing your best there. Just pray to Krishna to give you intelligence how to manage it all. The most important thing is that we must be ideal Krishna conscious persons, and then we can attract others. This means chanting, reading my books, going on Sankirtan, following the regulative principles, and worshipping the deity. Whoever takes part in these things, no matter what he has done of sinful activities before, will automatically advance in spiritual realization. This is a simple process, and if we follow it, we will become ideal. Otherwise, they will become victims of women and wealth. Writing to a prominent leader, Srila Prabhupada listed the attributes expected of a leader, citing those of Brahmana given in Bhagavad Gita 18.42. To be peaceful, self-controlled, austere, pure, tolerant, honest, wise, learned, and religious. A leader should be reliable and beyond reproach. One must prove that he is trustworthy. Then we can accept him as trustworthy. When one has to take charge of a center, he has to be completely above suspicion. Good sadhana. Good sadhana.
Okay,
Srila
one thing I wanted to tell regarding the leaders. Guru Maharaj has given a very beautiful lecture on advice to my leaders advice to the leaders under my leadership or under me or something is there. Advice to leaders under me. Something is there. Advice to leaders under me. So under Guru Maharaj, there are so many leaders. So everybody should hear that particular lecture. And Maharaj compares that particular how he wants everybody should be, how a leader should be, how Prabhupada wanted, and Maharaj is explaining how there is. He explains basically taking the example of Chapati's leadership and how he wants it, how Prabhupada did it, and devotees should hear that particular lecture. Advice to leaders under me, I think. Or advice to leaders under my leadership. I think something is there under. Yeah, I forgot the particular lecture title. And one more thing is there are so many lectures given by Maharaj on leadership. Because previously, just before Shravan Kirtan camp in Sri Rangam, in many places, Maharaj used to conduct leadership seminars. Leadership means leaders used to come to Maharaj and then they used to have talks about what to be done next year. So there are so many lectures on that particular point, leaders should be ideal leaders. There's so many lectures on leaders. Maharaj did. And there is a Vishnu Sahasranama lecture. There is a name called Neta. It is one of the Vishnu's name among all 108 names. Vishnu Sahasranama, there are 1,000 names of Vishnu. There is one of the names is Neta. So in that also Maharaj gives a series of lectures. What is meant by leader? Neta means leader. Yes, these are some of the things. If anybody remembers anything else, they can speak out now. Because we are going to another topic. If anybody has anything to say or ask, they can unmute themselves and speak. Hare Krishna. No. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji, kindly start reading. Continue.
Good sadhana. Good sadhana, Srila Prabhupada taught, is essential for spiritual leaders. Without hearing and chanting, to become a leader is impossible. You can become a leader in the material world, but not in the spiritual world. To organize a temple in our society is not so difficult. Simply be serious in following the rules and regulations and chant 16 rounds. Everything will decline if leaders do not follow the basic principles and observe regular sadhana. I am little observing now, especially in your country, that our men are losing their enthusiasm for spreading on our programs of the Krishna consciousness movement. Otherwise, why are so many letters of problems coming dissatisfied? That is not a very good sign. The whole problem is that they are not following the regulative principles that I can detect. Without this, enthusiasm will be lacking. Even by mechanically following, and if he gradually gets understanding from the class, he will come to the point of spontaneous enthusiasm. This spontaneous, loving devotional service is not such an easy matter, but if one simply sticks strictly to the rules and regulations like rising early, chanting 16 rounds, chanting Gayatri, keeping always clean, then his enthusiasm will grow more and more. And if there is also patience and determination, one day he will come to the platform of spontaneous devotion, then his life will be perfect. All this I have told you in the nectar of devotion. So I do not think the leaders are themselves following, nor they are seeing the others are following strictly. That must be rectified at once. Engagement in management is no excuse for skipping temple programs. If you are the president, then what is the use of opening a center if you cannot attend all temple functions?
This is one of the big problem of temple residents nowadays. At least temple where I am, leaders don't come for morning programs. They don't have Bhagavatam class. Right? Such a what I can say, uh, heinous and atrocious situation. And they speak of big plans for teaching and big plans for conducting big programs, Western preaching, English speaking preaching all over the world. Nonsense. If people don't follow what is there, if the juniors don't see, or if the devotees in the temple don't see the big senior devotees who are there since many years in the temple, doing sadhana in front of them, or chanting 16 rounds in front of them, or reading, or doing menial services in front of them, or attending morning programs, evening programs in front of them, then don't expect that temple will improve. No temple will improve. It is not that I have seen leaders, they themselves should come. It's not that to inspire juniors they should come. It's not that you are giving an inspiration. That may be one of the side topic, but the thing is that if you don't follow that devotee, whoever is not coming for Mangalarti or whoever is not chanting 16 hours in front of you, and may chant the whole day here and there, wiggling around the beats. What is the big thing? Just you have to murmur some mantra and then move the beats one by one. 16 rounds within 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, everything will be over and you can throw the beats aside. What is the big thing in that? But the quality is important. So that's why most of the temples they are like dead temples, not dead. It's like places where zombies reside. You can see there is no Shakti in the temple. There
Where
is no,
crows.
sorry,
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, like, where there is no Harikatha, it's the temple is like crows.
snake holes, I could say.
Okay.
Yeah, Harikatha is gonna, it is not that Harikatha is not going on. Harikatha is going on, but the thing is here we are talking about the basic temple programs, temple functions. See, morning program, evening program, that should go on. That's all. The temple leader or anybody, or even though individually, everybody should see that he is in the morning program from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. 5 hours of sadhana is a must. Nothing can be done. If That's why grahasthas are very difficult for them to progress in Krishna consciousness because they have so many avocations early in the morning itself. There are so many things. That's why Maharaj is pushing these Varnashram farm communities like anything. That's why Maharaj wants grahasthas also to become full-time devotees. It may be preaching, it may be farm communities, it may be center opening, whatever it is. Otherwise, forget it. You can't become a devotee. 5 hours is required. In the morning, it is required that people should chant in the morning itself and then read. May not be reading. Reading means I mean Bhagavatam class. They read from Bhagavatam class. They hear Bhagavatam class, and then together they take prasadam. You can see in Pune temple, in many temples, and even in Salem, in Bhopal, they have to everybody. You can't sleep in the morning. You can't wake up whenever you want, whenever you can't progress in Krishna consciousness. Forget it of preaching in a big way, distributing so many books and all. Forget it. That's why basically the thing is that I hanker to stay in a temple. It may be that I may not be adjusting or whatever it is. Those devotees who are unable to stay uh, under temple atmosphere, for them it is very, very difficult to do full sadhana. That means wake up in. Okay, here there is no class, that's I can understand. But I used to stay in Bharuch in the temple itself. So there is no way that you have to wake up before and then you have to chant. You have to chant few rounds and then there is Mangalarti and then there is japa time, and then there is after japa there is Guru Puja, and then after Guru Puja there is Bhagavatam class. After Bhagavatam class there is Prasad. So those 5 6 hours is very 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 crucial in your life. So we should see every time that we are 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever, even if we are individual, even if we are there. You have to see that 4 hours, 5 hours just for Krishna, just for our spiritual master, just to put a lend our ears and mouth in chanting and dancing and hearing. Then only we will progress in Krishna consciousness. Forget the house, forget everything. Just go to the temple wherever you are and attend the morning full program. You see how you will change your life. That's very, very important. If you're staying near the temple, see to that you attend all the programs, at least till Guru Puja, at least till Bhagavatam class. Maybe Bhagavatam class can be attended from the house through YouTube, live, live YouTube. But at least mm, Mangalarti, chanting, Guru Puja, that three should never be avoided. His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj said, now I am going for the most important service. One time he said to me in United States. That is what? Attending Guru Puja. Now I am going for my important service. So whatever may be the thing, even if you may skip Mangalarti, but never skip Guru Puja. That is the only thing you can give to Prabhupada. Guru Puja means your what is that? Um, ring. You are indebted to Prabhupada. So we should pay obeisances to Prabhupada, offer flowers to Prabhupada, and every day chant the pranam mantra before Prabhupada. And then you can see Prabhupada's face, and then you can reciprocate with him. That is entirely a different platform. So don't miss that particular opportunity and experience. That Sadhguru says about experience. This is experience. What we experience in Krishna consciousness. That is reality. That is experience backed by following. What do you? They don't follow anything. What experience? Bogus, nonsense, smutty experience. There is nothing experience. Your experience should be backed by Shastra. Your experience should be backed by. We follow what Guru Sadhu Shastra says. Then automatically you will be happy. Automatically you will be enthusiastic. There is no doubt. There is no way that one can feel discouraged. You may have hundreds of things running around you after the Guru Puja and after the. So you may fight with everybody every day, whole day. You may fight, but these 5 6 years, the hours of if you are fixed up, and all these things will go away over a period of time because these have come because of our anarthas, because of our karma, because of our so many things. Actually, personally, myself, I don't mind devotees shouting, yelling, they're frying people. They may fry people, they are abusing, words. I'm not talking about this word itself is a very abusive word in the United States. So I mean through words. I'm not talking about the way that they abusive or all whatever is. I'm talking about the way yell at people, they shout at people, they fry people by their words. I don't mind all those things. If a person is attending morning program, if a person is doing over a period of time, he will get purified and he will change. That change can be seen. But if his basic sadhana is a problem, then this is this is like adding already he's wounded, and you put mirchi, or you put chili powder on that. You put chili powder on the wound. It is like that. But so the main thing is this. So the leader should see that every devotee, whether he may yell, shout, he may scream, or he may sleep, whatever it is, if he is attending all the morning program, following the regular principles, chanting 16 rounds, then other everything else is complaining too much, he's doing so much, that all can be rectified and purified, and can be adjusted. This cannot be adjusted. That's the thing. That is there. While one is relaxed in all these things, then automatically all things. Actually, the thing is that by the grace of spiritual master, all our karma is taken out. But if we don't follow the regulative principles, the previous karma also comes back to on our head, which our spiritual master gracefully has removed from us. Those again will revert back in our head in different forms, and we have to suffer a lot. That I am seeing. That will come in a different fashion, and we don't have control on that. So that we have to take care. So I don't know whether how many devotees have observed this point, what I am trying to tell. This is very, very important. So divyam jnanam dado yatya purva papasya samshaya. Hmm. तथा दीक्षेति स्वप्रोक्तास् देशिकैस्ततो भवितव्य दिव्यम ज्ञानम ददो यत् दीक्षा means दिव्यम ज्ञान दिव्यम क्षापयति इति दीक्षा दीक्षा that is made it is of two words diksha di means divya jnanam and ksha means kshapayati establishing the divya jnana transcendental knowledge in your heart. So divyam jnanam dado yatya Purva. So when the spiritual master at the time of initiation installs or instills or gives you that, or you have the faith that he is the spiritual master and he will instill in you that particular faith, and then he gives that bhakti lata beach, then immediately purva papasya samshaya, that all the sins will be eradicated. Uh, but as it is said there, now, what is that? The Bhagavatam verse, what is that? नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेव्य भगवत उत्तम श्लोकी भक्ति भवति नैष्ठिकी. It is said that almost eradicated. Almost, why it is that almost? It should get eradicated fully. No, you have to do your part. Everything is eradicated. What you will do your part. So you have to do your part also. So it is eradicated, but we have to do our part. We have to wake up. We have to chant. We have to do that. That much we have to do. We have to do our part. Then already our sins and already our anarthas, everything are taken care of. Don't take new arthas, new aparadhas, new Hudara Daurbalyams, new Asatrishnas. Don't take new, all these things. But the problem is that once we come to Krishna consciousness, the old is gone, the new things come up. New things will come up. So this is the problem. So that's why when we are chanting Hare Krishna and we take Diksha, all our sins will be eradicated. But if we don't follow, then whatever are eradicated, that will again come to us. That karma will always again will come up, and we are mentally, physically, psychologically, psychophysically, we get depressed, distressed, stressed. And then finally we think that this will not work and we may leave Krishna consciousness. So that stage don't bring, because so fortunately and so difficult, with very lot of difficulty, a jiva has come all the way to position where he has taken the Diksha. He is years and years is there, and then finally you just mess up by just leaving Krishna consciousness. Hmm. People don't see that actually the so many people are leaving Krishna consciousness than people living in Krishna consciousness, staying in Krishna consciousness. So many devotees are leaving Krishna consciousness. Some other they are over a period of time not seen. ओझल हो जाते हैं. In Hindi there is a word ओझल. They just evaporated, gets evaporated. Where he has gone, nobody knows. Whereabouts, that's called as address. We say in South India, in Telugu we say he has gone out of address. He has no address. So don't be like that. Oh, we have come to a very great point. Yes, Prabhuji. Continue.
Yes, Prabhu. I think Atindra Prabhu can read now because
Yes,
he has
Atindri Prabhu. You can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Namaprabhu. Sincerity. Equating sincerity with commitment in devotional service, Srila Prabhupada explained that if a leader is sincere, then Krishna reciprocates and all else develops accordingly. If a sincere soul goes out and opens a center in any part of the world, Krishna will help him in all respects without being empowered by Krishna. Nobody can preach Krishna consciousness. It is not academic qualification or financial strength which helps in the matter, but it is sincerity of purpose which helps us always. I was prepared to chant even if there were no men present to hear me. The principle of chanting is to glorify the Lord and not to attract a crowd. If Krishna has if Krishna hears nicely, then he will ask some sincere devotee to gather in such place. Therefore, be advised that thousands of centers may be started if you find out a sincere soul for each and every center. If you can relieve me of worry of management in Mayapur, it will be a great relief for me. Krishna will give you more and more intelligence on how to do this if you sincerely endeavor.
Okay, just one thing I wanted to tell here. This one, the principle of chanting is to glorify the Lord and not to attract the crowd. If Krishna hears nicely, then he will ask some sincere devotee to gather in such place. This I have seen in Acharya Prabhu and in Sakshi Gopal Prabhu. These are the devotees who are previously distributing books on this principle. I have not seen any devotee doing nowadays. I mean, any devotee. No, I have not seen. At least, of course, we do it, but I've seen them. They always tell this. Why I am telling because they are not being told. People don't know about them. We need to tell them about them. So if Krishna hears nicely, then he will ask some sincere devotee to gather in such place. This I have seen Sakshi Gopal doing it very nicely when he was distributing books. There is a devotee by name, our God, Sakshi Gopal Das. In Hyderabad, he used to distribute books like this. He was very sincere. Like, he used to come to the on the road, and he used to tell that this one, Prabhuji, I don't have any qualification. If Krishna wants, he can send some soul. I can explain to him, and he will take the books. And people used to come to him. I remember once what happened. One person came. He got the first canto of Bhagavatam, and he sincerely told him. And then just boom, after 1 hour, half an hour, he comes back and takes the whole set. So the thing is, Acharya Prabhu, I don't know the world, whether you know it or not. He can't, he is from Dutch, Dutch means he speaks Dutch language. And Dutch people, English is very tough to understand. And he's from South America, adopted by parents in Holland and Amsterdam. He used to be in the temple. And he came to first to Tirupati and then came to Salem. And then he was from Salem. He was with us in Hyderabad. And then he was in Gujarat for a long time. And what he speaks, nobody can understand. When he gives the class, nobody can understand what is head and tail he is speaking. But books goes like anything. That is Krishna's empowerment. That is what his book distribution is. They may give thousands and thousands. They may give this, that, and all. Maybe a the world's topmost book distributor. But this is what is important. As well, of course, we are not denigrating or offending them in that way, those who are distributing books. But principle is this. Because they live in Krishna consciousness for years and years. Acharya Prabhu is still a brahmachari. He's still serving. He's in some other country, maybe in France, Paris, I think he's there now. He was supposed to go to Bolivia and do something, but somehow Krishna had a different plan. But what I'm saying is that he's a very good beauty. He's not good in management and relationships and all. But I don't mind anything like that. I take inspiration from him, like anything. Okay, Prabhu. Continue.
Yes, bro. Management means sincere service. Then everything will be all right. Without sincerity, managerial systems are useless.
And one more thing I wanted to tell, nobody at the present leaders, I have not seen they telling about the old book distributors or old struggles of book distribution, whatever they have done. I have not seen anybody telling all these things in classes. I have not seen, at least in Krishna life, somebody was discussing about, although Vishnu Chitta knows about, Acharya Prabhu knows about, because we know how we struggled in book distribution. It is not so easy to distribute books in India. It's not so easy to distribute a Bhagavatam set. Nowadays, it is more tough. It is more paisa, more $10,000. In US, I'll tell you, in US, it is very, very easy to distribute. It's not at all difficult. Not at all difficult. You should know the tactics, just like Ram Prabhu explained to me how to distribute books to a Westerner, how to tell, how to, Western means American. I know, but I was not so well enough how to speak to them, how to. So these are all there, but uh, it's a different pattern, because people don't have money. It's easy to distribute books, not so easy to distribute Bhagavatam set to a Westerner. It's not so easy to distribute Bhagavatam set to a Westerner. Ram Prabhu did so many Bhagavatam sets to Westerners than to Indians. I did to Indians more, not to Westerners. I did few sets here and there to few sets means few books to Westerners, but not Bhagavatam set till now. I should tell myself. I'm learning from him there slowly. But if you distribute books to Westerners, you'll feel very happy than to distributing books to Indians. That's for sure. But nobody has till now told, like so many devotees are taking big classes on book distribution, but they are not explained how to distribute books to Westerners and not done anything. I've heard so many devotees speaking. They will all tell that it is a Guru's mercy, everything is going on by Acharya's mercy, Prabhupada's mercy. Yes, that is there, but there is a crux. So that's very, very important. Okay, Hare Krishna.
This organization is not run by bylaws, meetings, or vouchers, but by following the instructions of the spiritual master with sincerity. Whatever success I have is due to that. To one with to one with faith in the spiritual master and Krishna comes knowledge of the scriptures. Without the faith and sincerity, bylaws are useless. If they managers are insincere, then sorry, the previous page. If they managers are insincere, then that will not be effective. Sincerity in devotional service can also refer to purity of motive. Referring to management, Srila Prabhupada wrote of being freed from any kind of sense gratifying attitude, because pure devotional service means anya abhilashita sunyam, or without any desire other than to satisfy Krishna. No personal ambition. The Krishna consciousness movement is not meant for fulfilling one's personal ambition. Dangerously, once there is a motive, everything is spoiled. And thus Srila Prabhupada checked such tendencies in his leading disciples whenever he saw them arise. Our life is very short. The Krishna consciousness movement is not meant for fulfilling one's personal ambition, but it is a serious movement for the whole world. Equating personal ambition with poison that can smash even a great spiritual institution. Srila Prabhupada warned his leading disciples to not go the same way as the Gaudiya Mutt. I wanted you all my experienced disciples should manage the whole institution very cleverly, without any personal ambition like ordinary materialistic men. The Gaudiya Mutt institution has become smashed, at least stopped its program of preaching work on account of personal ambitions. I shall request you all not to be personally ambitious. Spiritual movement, as soon as there is money and power, it deteriorates, just like the Gaudiya Mutt. Spiritual propaganda diminished. So every one of us should be very careful of this. The central point in management is the order of the spiritual master. I can give you suggestions how to manage everything, but it is up to the GBC to practically execute all these points. Analyzing how insincerity in serving the Guru had disrupted the Gaudiya Mutt, Srila Prabhupada pointed his own disciples on the right track. The difficulty is sometimes things are interpreted in a manner dovetailing one's own sense gratification. I have got this personal experience in my Guru Maharaj's institution. Different God brothers took the words of Guru Maharaj in different interpretations for sense gratification, and the whole mission disrupted. I am always afraid of this crack, but I am sure if our aim is to serve Krishna sincerely and the spiritual master simultaneously, that will be our success. That means serve Krishna and the spiritual master simultaneously with equal faith and serious vow, and then success is sure. Observing that this material nature is such a thing that as soon as you get little power, you become puffed up. Srila Prabhupada concluded that is demonic nature. He noted that certain leader disciples had the tendency to consider, I am the Lord of all I serve. But rather, a soul dedicated to the service of the Lord should never think of himself as the personal proprietor or the superintendent. Still, seeing some of his leaders becoming affected by power, Srila Prabhupada frankly told them, this is the difficulty that as soon as one gets power, he becomes whimsical and spoils everything. At one point, he directly stated to leaders, I shall request you all not to be personally ambitious. Humility. Leaders should know that they are not indispensable. Krishna is simply giving them a chance for service. Krishna is simply giving a chance to everyone. He had no need of GBCs or temple presidents. Otherwise, thousands of presidents and thousands of GBC may come and go. His work will go on. Krishna is complete himself. He does not require anyone's help. That is Krishna. Only with his understanding can one be truly blessed to serve Krishna by performing responsible work. Any person authorized by either the Lord or his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. Of course, the person entrusted with such a responsibility should always be aware of his incapability and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. One should not be puffed up because he is entrusted with certain executive work. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Arjun was entrusted with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and before he was so entrusted, the Lord had already arranged for his victory. But Arjun was always conscious of his position as subordinate to the Lord, and thus he accepted him as the supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. In a letter to a temple president, Srila Prabhupada paraphrased Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Trinadapi verse, indicating that he wanted his leaders to act humbly as agents of Krishna. When a Krishna conscious person is elevated to a responsible position, he never becomes puffed up. Just like a tree, when overladen with fruits, become humble and lower down. Similarly, a great soul in Krishna consciousness becomes humbler than the grass and bows down like the fruitful trees. Because a Krishna conscious person acts as the agent of Krishna. Therefore, he discharges his duty with great responsibility.
Okay, Prabhu. Somebody else can read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Saurabh ji, you can read.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
To be strong. That a devotee should be humble does not mean that he cannot be strong. Strong men are required in devotional service. I require strong men such as yourself for preaching this cult in this world. I need such strong men as yourself to stick with me, and together we shall go back to home, back to Godhead. Noting how hard it is to manage a worldwide spiritual movement. Srila Prabhupada wanted strong, well-trained men to take charge. The main thing is always to always have one strong leader at each temple who can maintain the preaching standard to the highest degree. One strong man, if he is a very fixed up devotee, can manage everything nicely, even in a huge temple with many students. New centers must be managed by strong men trained in philosophy, sankirtan, deity worship, cooking, and temple business. With these qualifications, there is every chance for a successful program in any city of the world. Clearly, this applies to all centers, not only new ones. The means to get spiritual strength. I repeatedly say to my students, chant the Hare Krishna mantra 16 rounds and follow the regulative principles. Your strength is there. That a leader should be strong primarily means that he should be strong spiritually, but physical, mental, and philosophical strength are also needed to be knowledgeable. ISKCON leaders must be serious, convinced, and adept in the philosophy. You are the president there, so you must be very conversant with our philosophy. You shall have to become very serious and convinced yourself in order to manage others. And this will force you to become Krishna conscious. They should be sufficiently learned to be able to answer the general questions of other devotees. The president of the center should be able to answer the questions of other members. If he is unable, then he should ask the local general secretary. Then, at last, it should come to me. Not that all the questions are going to me directly and we are simply busy vouchers and reports. This duty should induce leaders to study Srila Prabhupada's books and become adept in explaining them. For so long, I have been receiving different questions from the students. Now I think all these questions should be answered by the presidents locally. So you should study all our books very nicely, and all the doubts and the questions may be answered by you locally. In case of a difficult question, it may be referred to. That will give all the presidents the chance of being skillful in solving the doubts and problems of the local students. Thus, their first duty is to read Srila Prabhupada's books. Yes, as a sannyasi and GVC, your first duty is to read my books. Otherwise, how will you preach? To remain steadily fixed in Krishna consciousness, there must be a sound philosophical understanding. Otherwise, it will become only sentiment. Whenever you find time, please read my books. The president means he must be very expert. Secretaries, they should be all expert in reading. This is our main business to study, to know things. This will give understanding of how to do everything properly. Without following this approach, everything will be spoiled. I want you leaders especially to become very absorbed in the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and become yourself completely convinced and free from all doubt. On this platform, you shall be able to carry on the work satisfactorily. But if there is a lack of knowledge or if there is forgetfulness, everything will be spoiled in time. Especially, you must encourage the students to read our books throughout the day as much as possible. Give them all good advice on how to understand the books and inspire them to study the things from every point of view. In this way, by constantly engaging our tongues in the service of the Lord, either by discussing his philosophy or by chanting Hare Krishna. The truth is that Krishna himself will reveal himself to us and we shall understand how to do everything properly.
Okay. Okay, we will stop here. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. If the devotees have anything to ask or say or share, you can unmute yourself and speak before I close down this session. Hare Krishna. Anybody has anything to say?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanapra.
Yes, Prabhu. Jitendriya Prabhu.
Prabhuji, what is vouchers? Prabhupada has mentioned many times, and that I think I never read in books only. Maybe it's mentioned in the letters or personal
Vouchers
discussion.
means I think it is relating to accounts. The same vouchers, I think it is not something else. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, vouchers, vouchers, they raise vouchers. I want this, I want this. So vouchers are raised. Yeah, if you want something from the department, you raise vouchers and then get the things. It is like company. In your company also they have vouchers, right? In India.
No, I'm in academic institute, Prabhuji, IIT.
Not IIT. I am talking about companies and all. They have this voucher system. Vouchers will be there.
We know, I means I have the experience of voucher, like if you are lucky, you are getting something voucher.
Getting something lucky means what is that?
Means you got the vouchers, means you get the some exemption like 10% off, 20% off in your purchasing.
That I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't have any idea what is that. I think it is like demanding from the temple. I want this one. I want this one. So when you want something, and a voucher is sanctioned, and then they put it, and then they sanction something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
And anybody has anything?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Ramdas Prabhu.
It was interesting that, hearing this part right here that we just read, it reminded me of Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. So, he wanted a part of the practice in which we have, but he's now willing to he doesn't want to read Srila Prabhupada book for some reason. He just wanted a part, or he wants
Oh, you're talking about Dallas. Okay, Dallas. What happened? What happened to him? He doesn't want to read. He's messaging you something again
No,
and
I was
again.
saying that no, he was sending messages, but you keep telling him to go back to the books and read. But for some reasons, he wants you to tell him like a certain part of the practice, or he wants a certain part of the practice, but he doesn't want to read the book in which the practice came out of.
Can be
So
done.
yeah, so whilst we were reading this part here, it reminded me of Dallas.
Mm. Yeah, to others, to the devotees who cannot understand this, I want to just make it. I want to make it clear that there is an American person whom we met. Uh, his name is Dallas. That's the name of the place, and he's that place, and his name is also that. So it is Mr. Dallas. So he came and he asked so many questions about so many things, and then we told him that you have to read Prabhupada's books and gave Prabhupada's books, but he is not reading those books, and he's again and asking about the questions and telling, and he wants us to tell about the practice, but every practice what we are doing is coming from the books. So it's easy. One who reads Prabhupada's books, he can understand, but it will take time. Just what can be done? Everybody. During Prabhupada's time, I remember Haripat Prabhu telling that he read the Bhagavad Gita as it is in 3 days and he joined the temple. That's all. Boom, done. In 3 days, he read the whole Bhagavad Gita book and he joined the temple. There's so many people. They read, Falani Mataji read Nectar of Devote, teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Boom, she joined the temple. And there are devotees who have read BTG magazine. Boom, they joined temple. At that time, it was like people were joining based on books. You can hear how I came to Krishna consciousness. So many devotees say, I am like this, I am like this, and I got Prabhupada's book. That's all. Boom. That's all. The whole ideas change. Nowadays, people they're coming through DYS course, 6 session course, and then another course, and then another course. After 10 courses, one Prabhupada small book is given to him, and after 15, 20 years, he's given another small book, another big book, and then finally he will think, and I'm a premi bhakta, and then he knows harmonium, he knows kartal, he knows mridanga to beat, he knows all the temple programs, but he has never read Prabhupada's books. Hare Krishna. So many people. Okay, anybody has anything to say or ask? Okay, we will stop here and we'll meet tomorrow at this time. Tomorrow is this week's last day, Friday. Okay, and then we'll meet on Monday. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Nama.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय, जगत श्री
Jai,
प्रभुपाद की जय, जगत भक्त
Jai,
स्वामी महाराज की जय,
Jai,
द मोड एंड श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे
Jai.
कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Somebody has put something. Oh, he has put something. I think the best path. Something is there. You can send me this in my WhatsApp. This one, Ramdas.